Good evening. For those who do not know me, what do? I look at different games, different sports, different words that are heard, spelled. As I see the spelling of the word that is heard, every word uses different letters. If it didn't use different letters, it would be the same word. Every letter has a position in the alphabet. The base alphabet positions of the letters known to us as we know it is 1A, 2B, to be or not to be or not to be. Phrases that one hears, books that one reads. But if you did not see these letters, would you know how to spell the word we? Would you know how to spell the word come? If I used it one word at a time, would you know which word I was actually choosing? If I said number 22, would you say ape or would you say go? Before we even find the definition of the word, how many letters created that word? Each one and every one of what I have spoken about will tell a story when using it up against other words with words that have a numeric value to that word and number of letters in that word. I'm not a teacher. I'm learning this myself at the same time. I'm going to say, hi, Tammy. How are you this evening? I wasn't going to do a video. I just came here because I saw something this week, and I've been doing the same numbers over and over and over again. And I'm trying to clean my finger because my cat, I don't know what she did, but I got something stuck on my finger from my cat. I don't know what that is. What is that, little kitty? Right? Let's see how my kitty is. How you doing, kitty? You want to lie down? Right? I was out of the house and I'm trying to say, does my cat miss me? Does she realize that I'm gone? Does she realize that I came home from where I went? Where did her mind go? What was she thinking while I was gone? Was she in this world or was she in another world? Did she sort of not forget me but went on to a different plan? We don't know. The word cat is number 24. The word dog. Are you gone, Tammy? Are you gone? Because it says there's nobody here. The word dog is number 24. Note that the word cat is 3 letters and the word dog is 3 letters. Note that the first letter in the word cat is a C. Note that the first letter in the word dog is a D. Now, so what? So what? Big deal. For me, it is a big deal because there's a whole story that goes along with it. Every letter for the base has a reverse alphabetical letter, and it also has an in-between letter. If I start with the letter C, I am starting on the lowest scale of the family of C. We also note that the family of C, okay, sounding, depending on in the word where you use it, but in base value for the alphabet, C is sounded with what I believe will be CE. It can also be written as SEA and SEE. So there's a multitude of realities that can happen with this letter, as also other letters. Now, using the letter C, will I be using this as the 3rd letter, which is also what is the 12th letter, which is also the 21st letter? Now, which letter is in singularity? Well, the C, because it only has one number to it, I'm going to put that in the middle, C over here, right? And then on each side of the C, should I put L and U? Are you reaching out for me? Yeah, it tells me you're not here, but I know you're here. So also, yeah, you're okay there, Kitty? Also, the word dog starts with a D. Now, the difference between cat and dog, okay, just the first letter is the separation in this cube of 3 and 4. Now, why is this number different than the other numbers? One of the things about 3 and 4 is that it is inside 1 and 6, and it is inside 2 and 5. So it becomes 3, 4, 2, 5, 1, 6. Now, I'm still learning, but when I say 3, 4, there's also an alternative reality that's going on, and it has to do with the 7 days of the week, in which just let me keep this down here, right? So in which what happens during the week is that we have one day that's the center to the 7 days. And then we have 3 days to the left and 3 days to the right, in which we'll end up both on the weekend connecting. The 7th day of rest, noted to be the Saturday or the Shabbos. So we are going to have that reality. But it doesn't say 1, 3, 1. It says 3 and 4. Now, the funny thing about this is the expression of 1 and 6 in words. The word 1 equals to 34. The word 6 equals to 52. 34 and 52 equals 86, which in half equals to 43. And again, D and C, dog and cat. Dog numeric value 26, cat numeric value 24. It does so happen to fit in the alphabet. Dog 26, reverse alphabet. See, I wish I had 2 cameras that I can see myself and put it on the paper. Right? So can you just move up a little bit, Kitty? So what we have is dog 26, cat 24. The letter reverse is Z and A. The letter reversed, okay, is C and X. Sex, CXAZ. Does it make a word? I don't know. I'm not looking into that right now. So this is 4 and 22, 4D and 22V. Also note that 2 and 2 also equals to 4. And C3 and 21 for the T, also equaling to 3. So what you're going to end up here is 44 and 33. And what do you see again? 7 and 7, or what equals to 6 and what equals to 8. So it just seems that it's just so perfect, dog and cat, and the D and C polarize each other, right? This is the Z, the D and C. Yes, they polarize each other. The polarization of this number is going to be what is W and what is X. Now I want to see why that is working out that way, right? Because it goes away from the realm of this numeric value over here, 26, and it goes away from the value here. Although what you see here is 50, the reality of adding these two numbers, okay, equals to 4 and 1. 4 and 1. 2 and 2 is 4, 6 and 4 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. As well, 4 and 6. This will equal to 8 and 7. It'll create a gateway. Where do I get this? I multiply it and I add it. And here's how I do it. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 6 times 4 is 24. 2 and 4 is 8. 6, okay. 6 plus 4 is 10. Did I do this right? Let me see if I did this right. 6 and 4 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 2 and 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 6 times 2 is 24. 2 and 4 is 6. And then I add them up. I create this. This will divide my night and day, equaling to the 24 hours. This is going to give me, and the word is freedom through 55, equaling to 81 Venus. Where do I get this? Multiplied and added. I get this number. Multiplied and added. Hold on a second. Let me just see something. No, I went through too many. I don't like the way I did this. Let me just rip this out for a second. I want to start over again. I just did too many calculations and showed you the wrong one. Hold on. I don't like this pen. I don't like working with this pen. Dog 26, 26Z, reverse A1. Cat 24, X, reverse C3. Do note, okay, that 103 equals to Mercury. Do note that 103 also. So 1 second here. She's lying on my eraser stuff. Just give me a second, see if I can get some of that eraser stuff here. Just give me a minute. It's a long process. I have to go slow. I don't want to make too many mistakes. Can you get up for a second? Is it under you somewhere? Let me see. I can't see. Is it in here? I'm trying to look for my eraser stuff. This is not easy. Just give me a second. You think you can move over just a bit? Just let me look under you. No, you're okay. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. So September is also 103. Also note, when it's 103, it becomes 25 and 78. The BER, because it repeats, okay, in multiple months, I'm going to separate it from the word before I start to begin with syllables as well, to understand that in French, I like to use multiple languages, English and French. This says 7 happening in the 9th month, right? At the same time, okay, if it says 7 happening in the 9th month, if I go backwards, this becomes the 4th month. December, November, October, September. So we're going to go to the next word for 103. How about going J for 10 and C, like Jesus Christ? Also note, right, if we're going to do Jesus Christ, it's number 74 and number 77, which creates 7 and 7 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5, 4 and 7, 11, 1 and 1 is 2. The word for earth is number 52. If we did it the other way, but it's not the other way, it would be Jack. Notice that Jack, John, Jack in the Box, and everything to do with Jack or Jacques, right? All has to do with J and Jesus. You can look at it that way. You don't have to. It's just for some coincidence. Also, that if you write the word Mars, 51, and Earth, I do not like this pen, 52, also equals to 103, and it also equals to 13. 1 and 2 is 3, 5 and 5 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. So now we're going to get back to the dog and the cat, now that I did this small little element over here, but it goes a little bit further, because 13 and 31 and 13 equals to 57. The word moon equals to 57. 31 and 13 and 31 equals to 75, and the word electric is equal to 75. Now, I'm just going to talk to the face. It's a long process. Thank you very much for sending the angels. It's just like a lot more powerful when there's more people here to remember, to remind me of what I said, to tell me what road I went down. When I start to speak, it branches out. I start to see different ways things that I can put onto the story that hop on. It's like people down the road picking up a train, and you keep picking up more and more and more people, more and more information as the train keeps going. So now there's a mathematical relationship with number 57. It's funny that also, okay, that man is number 28, and that's the cycle of the moon. But what's ironic about this is that in order to be called man, not male, not boy, man, you have to be the age of Bat's mitzvah, the male Bat's mitzvah. Now, why? Is it just the Hebrews that do this at 13? No, it's not just the Hebrews. What happens at 13? We go from 12, 2 cubes, to 3 cubes. Why? We're taught right now, I'm using the sides of the cube. There's 6 sides and 6 sides and 1 side to get me over to 13. One element. The Hebrews follow the moon, the cycle of the moon. Man is number 13. There are 13 moons in a year of 28 days. Man is MAN, 28. And at the age of 169 moons plus 1, 169 plus 1, 169 plus 1, we can't forget any numbers. We have 169 moons, right, plus 1, which is 13 times 13 equals to 168. I'm going to do it this way because when you have 169, if you were going to go into artwork or using cells, you would have to use one cell, and then you would get one cell, and you would get 168 surrounding cells, in which it would be like this: 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and 48. This would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where do I get this? Well, just to show you just one small example, when I go my first square around 1, there are 8 areas here. The first 2 areas, right? The first 2 areas are noted as 50 and 25. Now, where do I get this? I get this from darts. The game of darts. Not a dart, but the game of darts, plural. And you notice the ST coming together, our RAD coming together. The resident angel in the mirror world that has come first or has come last. And the reason for that, when ST comes out, this is normally used for first. So in both ways, I like to say it's gold. So now once we start to do this from inside out, we would now go 1, 9, 16, 22, 27 coming into the house of Bait, the ram, or the red ram, if you want to call it. Inside the E world, over here you get 31. Now we've come up to the moon, and it's going to be a blue moon. This is just basic, please. I'm going to tell you why, because when we get this number over here, when we run it to the 3 cycle, flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop, I get the numeric value of the moon. When I do it the other way, I get the electric moon moving the ocean. OCEAN, ocean. Or is it moving the sea? 19 and 6, 25. Jack is known to be a plug-in. 6, notice there's still a EA in it, right? The 2 vowels that are so important besides the O. 14 and 6, 20. 23 and 15, 38. Noted to be gold. Gold is now with the moon, and it's in rotation because this is the 3rd and the 8th finger. I'm going to try not to remember. I'm going to look at the question over here. What is it you would like to give more of, sir? Book called, I think, something about the golden goose. Oh, it's funny that you said that. Haha, funny stuff. Everyone got stuck when they touched the golden feathers or what they were touching. You would certainly have a train of whatever got curious. You would certainly have a train. I'm not really understanding that. You would have a train. It could be a train of thought or a trend of thought. I'm gonna go on with this, right? You're okay there, buddy? Yeah, you're okay? Yeah? Yeah, are you okay? Yeah, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Okay, we're gonna go on and continue with this. When we get to the last one, boom, number 34. D, C. When we started up on the last page for D and C, right? Here is 4, and over here is 22 to equal 26, which would be 844. Over here would be 4 and 4 equaling to 8. Here would be 3 and 21, or 3 and 3 equaling to 6. This is going to be 8 and 16 equaling to 24. This is going to be 6 and 9 equaling to 15. Here's the letter O. Here is the letter X. They're both equal to 6, and the sixth letter is F, and now it says fox. The numeric value of these two, 24 plus 15, when you add these, 39, you now get the word 10, an angel. Now, being 3, I'm a little bit all over the place right now, but being 3 letters, you get a total value, letter count of 81. The reason for that is every single letter, although it's the 4th letter, the reverse of every letter is 27. 3 letters equal to 81 minus 26 equals 55. The dog gives you liberty in the spirit of 76. Note that Mars is number 51. 5 plus 1 equals to 6. And Earth is 52. Note 5 plus 2 equals to 7. I'm not going to extend it right now. I keep using up all my paper for some reason. Ah, yes, waiting for the golden feather. Now learning everybody down the line. Now, you mentioned feather. I'm going to have to mark that down, but I really don't want to get off the game I started with. Notice that the EA comes together. When that game comes together, you can now have this coming together, but the sound might be this, right? But you hard to hear, it might be farther. So I'm not sure which word we can use, but this, anyways, 6, 12, and 28 equals to 40, and 23 equals to 63. Also noted to be the word 11. And that's the beginning of creation, is 11. The beginning of the divided sun. The mathematics, your DNA, the divided sun, the dividing of light. And if you go and look for Grover Cleveland, I'm not sure if it still exists on the internet. You used to see Grover, just Grover, he used to be on a pole. Now the pole is noted to be 48, which is also the division of night and day, but it's a lamp post. Sometimes it's used as pole, sometimes it's post. Here it's 31 and 39 equaling to 70. Note what 70 is like 79, so it's the divided birth. All zeros can equal to 9, so 70 can also be 79. Also could be noted as 13 and 14, and this is the division of the alphabet to where 13 becomes the female and 14 becomes the male. Now, let me explain that. You see, the Jewish people, when they have the bat mitzvah and the bar mitzvah, and they say that the female at 12 years old, you have the bat mitzvah, and the male at 13 has the bar mitzvah. It sounds just grand and dandy, but that's not the reality. The reality is you're moving over. Because when you have your 12th birthday, it's because the 12 years have ended. You are entering into the 13th year. When you have your bar mitzvah, at the age of 13 because you are of the age of 13. So now we have to try and understand of the age of 13. The word of is 21. It's also 66 of the age of 13. Therefore, the 13 years are finished and you're into the age of 14. Now, when you take the entire alphabet from 1 through 13, it equals to 91. When you add 1 through 13, it equals to 91. When you add 14 through 26, it equals to 260. So it equals back to the last number. 91 and 26 equals to a total of 27. The reason for that, there's a whole bunch of things that are going on. I'm bringing up too many things right now, and I should just not. I just want to see what this is. This is 39. We're back to the angel. Okay. I'm just smelling. My cat is busy doing her business. So when we have this over here, 1 through 13, what is happening here is there's 13 letters, so the average is 20. There's 13 letters, so the average is 7. It just so happens that in the Mayan grindstone or grindstone, it works with 7 and 13, equaling to 20 areas in that grindstone. There's a wheel of time, and it works with 7 and 13, and 7 by 13 is 91, and that equals to what is 20. Let me see if we got this whole thing, if you understood male and female. At the same time, you see the alphabet divides over here. Now, when it divides, it's actually dividing at 13.5. When it divides at 13.5, the letters of 13 is M and E. Now, everything is just a coincidence because we just match them up when we tell the stories through numbers. You can also use this as matter and energy. Matter is 77, energy is 74. The total is 151. Ironic that Mars is number 151. Ironic that if we used Mars and Earth for the letters, we would get 51 and 52, equaling to 103. And that would bring me back to where the birth of the 9th month of the 9 months of birth into the 7th month of the gateway, to where Mercury also comes unto the same numeric value, 103, to where Jesus Christ, the initials, come unto the same, to where man has bar mitzvah, into the cycle of the moon, the electric moon. 57 is 12. We always ask ourselves about 12. We also say to ourselves that the moon moves time. So if the moon is moving time, time is number 47, and it's just ironic that the number 5 and 57 equals to 35, and 5 plus 7 equals to 12, and that value is 47, which comes out to give me this equation over here, 17 and 39, the angels of Q. Now, what is 17? Well, to bring everything to full formation, this will be to 51, and this I'm dividing by 3 equals to 13. So Mars brings in the gate for man. 3 by 13, 39. 3 by 17, 51. Do you follow how that equation? The cycle is 28. The word for man is 28. Here is your creation, 11. Why is it 11? The mathematics of where Mars comes in, 1 times 5, 1 plus 5, will equal to what is 5 and 6 equaling to 11. If I multiplied it, you get 41, and it also can be relevant to the word home and king. And the thing about home and king is that king will get number 7. When you look at the deck of cards and you look at all the kings, there are 3 kings with 2 eyes and 1 king with 1 eye. So again, we have to look at 1 and 3, and we're back to king, and king hitting bar mitzvah, hitting to Mercury, hitting to where we have electric, we have the moon. We also, what happens with number 13 is that number 13 or number 31, okay, when you multiply it and add it, it equals to 3 and 4, and we're back to what is DC, or what is dog and cat. And then the center, okay, this over here of this is also going to tell me about orange 60, yellow 92, and red 27. Note that the word bet, or the house of bait, also noted that we look at fish and we talk about the Jesus fish, right? And when you have fish and you have bait, you also have the hook. And the reason for that, and what is the hook? Here's your hook. A, B, C, D is the invert of how our numbers work. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, C, D. And where do we see it? We see it not because of any of these instruments, not because of any of these, but once you get to D, you start on the next row. Not only that, when we're starting the next row, it means we're starting over at 1 again. And then we go to 5, 6, and 7, and we look at the calculator. Every 3 works the same way as this. As well, we always ask ourselves, how come 60% of what is 100, right? You look at time. Well, 100% of time is 60. So if you add up 1 plus 2 plus 3, okay, if that was 10, 20, and 30, or 1.0, that would equal to what is 6. When you add the 4 to that, you now have 10J, and it mirrors everything. Now you have 100%. To the same fact, I'm going to bring into this number 3 and number 5. And what does 3 and 5 have in common? In fact, 3 and 5 are actually almost the same, to the fact that 3 is half of 6 and 5 is half of 10. So 5 would be half of 100%, to where 3 is half of what 6 is. And here is where Mars comes in, and here is the creation of 6. 51. So there's a lot of things going on. Now, not only that, but 1, 3, and 5, the first letter, the third letter, and the fifth letter. Also note that the word sun to a single digit, although the word sun is number 54 and the word ace is 9, you see the way they add up together. In the word sun, this is the 19th letter. 1 plus 9 equals to 10. 1 plus 0 equals to 1. U is the 21st letter. 2 plus 1 equals to 3. The N is the 14th letter. 1 plus 4 equals to 5. You now divide the alphabet right over here. Now, where did I get orange, yellow, and red? Because the 13 ball in pool is orange, and the 5 ball is orange, telling me I have an exact connection. And in order to create orange, I need yellow and red. And if you take a look, yellow is 9 and 2, 11, and red is 2 and 9, 2 and 7, 9, 9, 11, coming from this word. Now, if you take out the letters for it, you have K, 9, back to dog, but you have K9, 11 when you create dog, and it actually says this, because I is 9 and that's 11, 9, 11. House of bait, number 27, you put the bait on the hook, and when you say this word, you're also saying that. You get the fish, you get number 27 and 15 equals to 42, 6 and 9, 15, and 19, and 15 is 34, and 8 is 42. This is the dividing gate. The dividing gate, 9 lives of the cat. Remember, it's a K9, and it's the 9 lives of the cat. So how come they did that? Why did they talk the same way between dog and cat, showing number 9 for both of them? Let me see what this says here. Well, she wasn't here before, but she just came back, right? You doing okay, buddy? Yeah, you doing okay? No, I believe, and I need to believe this. Okay, I need to believe this. As much as you feel, or we feel, that animals miss us and love us, and although they do and they won't eat, I'm hoping, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to go away and do anything. I'd have to bring her with me all the time. I'm hoping they go into their own world, right? Maybe 1 or 2 days sad, but then they reconnect in the altar world, and then they're with you again. Although you're not with them, you're having more trouble than them. Man and animal. My nose don't smell as good as the cat's nose. My teeth aren't as good as the cat's teeth. My hearing aren't good as the cat nor the dog or most animals out there. I don't feel, I don't sense. I'm not even half as good as all the animals out there. But yet when it comes to certain things, I'm doing things that the cats and the animals cannot do. So we came to this world, and everything that is made up to who we are has been made up within us and has been cast out. Somehow inside of us, there is a cat. Inside of us, there is a dog. And inside of us, there's many other animals. And when you go deceased, all these animals seem to eat you up. So I'm going to get a glass of water. I'm going to come back and I'm going to continue. I was only going to stay here for 15 minutes. I got 30 minutes out there. And I want to continue on. I want to talk about this dice cube. Do I believe in the Matrix? Well, you know what? It all depends. If you're going to believe in something, and we gave it words, I'm going to say because of what has been made and has been made perfect, so perfect that I can tell you this story, that if you can believe my story, right, then I have to believe that this was made before anything even came. The architecture, before anything, before Earth was even coming, before Earth was even, before the area space, before the trees or the area space was even removed to create the area space we are in. It had to be created before we ever arrived. So therefore, I believe 100% that there is some kind of matrix out there in order to keep this area we are. The Big Bang is when they cleared area space and they put air. When you put air into a flat balloon, you blow it up. And then in the flat balloon, you fill it with water. So you have level playing field. So you have a round area with a level playing field on the inside. And then you have the mountains, and then you have the oceans. So this is what I see. And then you need circulation. So why did it take so many years for us to come to this point? We had to, there's many things I can say. I read a piece about the Urantia world, and I can't really remember exactly what it is, but we keep on moving on. And I believe that I'm not sure which way to say this, because there's so many things that can be said, and I'm not the final word. Is that I believe that the English language and the French language has helped me to come here and discover everything that I'm doing. The Hebrew language has taught me about the letter Tet and Yod and Aleph and how it works when I count. When I count in English, when I count in French, when I count in Hebrew, except when I write it in a certain way in Hebrew and I go Tet Vav, right? Or do I go Yod Vav? No, I go, if I can remember this properly, I think I'm going Yod Aleph, Yod Bet, Yod Gimel, Yod Dalet, Yod Hey, and then I'm going Tet Vav and Tet Zion. Why am I going when I get to 6 and 7? When I get to 15 and 16, why am I reducing it to a 9, which is Tet? Okay. And when I get to 16, I use Tet. But when I go to 15, 14, 13, why am I using Yod? Why did they do that? So by them doing that, whoever they are, it doesn't matter. It's the alter world. Because they did it, it told me a story of what I should do to broaden and understand what has been done. So they're going to use 9 and 6 and 9 and 7. And 6 and 7 is a representation of Mars. Depending on how you get your 7. This is pending how you get your 6. How do you get your 7? How do you get your 8? How do you get your 9? Is it on one side? If it's on one side, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 had to be created before you can create 7, 8, and 9. Now, if you're using 1 cube, we have 8 over here. If you're using 1 cube, we have 7 over here. The reason for that because of this. I believe that this is a solid for what this is. And the explanation still comes out in the calculator. So I'm going to get something to drink. I'm really hoping that I can remember what everything I'm on, because it's just exploding. So we're living a world same as depicted in the movies, The Truman Show. Oh my God, I can't believe you're mentioning that. Wow, The Truman Show. Oh my God. Wow, a friend of mine has been, showing me stuff in The Truman Show. And I sometimes I just can't explain everything. I just can't. I can read into stuff, but I can't explain. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The Truman Show. If you want to go to Jumanji and look at that in a certain way, look, we're human. I can't pull my finger apart, but we were sewn together. It's molecules. We go and we eat vegetables, and we eat, and then we get sewn together inside. Well, why do we start off as a child? How come we don't grow as fast as the horses or the cats or the animals? And one of my thoughts is that until this is fully developed, right, to be able to read what is going on, right? That's why most people, as I understand, don't remember between 1 and 2. Even according to this, you do not remember between 1 and 2 until the minimum of 3. 3 is going to give me 39 moons, also to the word angel. Also 39 moons, because it's 3, is the average is 13. We're back to Jesus Christ. And because it's number 1 and 3, we're back to the moon. They use man in the house of Bait. Man is a singular. Woman is 2. So if I'm going to look at man, I'm going to look at 1 and 8. If I'm going to look at woman, I'm going to look at 2 and 7. And what happens when they bring it together? They end up with this over here. 3 for creation. This is 3 and 6. This is your divided creation of light. The reason I say that, for 360 degrees, and they have told us to base everything off of 360 degrees, that's a full circle. 90, the flat line is called what? Is it 90, one of them? Is it 180? Is it 45? And note that 45 is for the queen, it is for the female, and it represents the heaven. And the reason I say that is because when you pull out the deck of cards, all the information is out there, right? When you pull out the deck of cards, the queens have all their eyes, and their hat is on a base 45-degree angle. That's what tells me. Because of these, I give that story. Okay, I'm going to get something to drink. I'm going to come back. If you want, you can just watch her for a minute for me. Just give me a second. Just give me 1 minute. I'm going to be with you. I just want to shut the door here. How you doing there, buddy? Okay, so where are we next? When we come to the jacks, right, or the king, we can see the wave in the helmet. So I have to look at the rest of them, because I usually refer to the king and the jack as basically the same when it comes to the hat. Here we have what might be the hexagon. But if you use this image, we can also create the pentagram. If we put 2 points up on one, drawing the line together, if we use 4 of them, we can create the octagon, the hexagon, the pentagram using this. I like to say the same thing using the king. In this one, it's curved, and some of them they're straight. You can note that the king of diamonds has one eye. The jack of diamonds has two eyes. The jack, the queens, if you take a look, they all have two eyes. I'm just going through this random. I'm gonna come back to it. Notice all three queens are looking the same way. I'm gonna get the fourth queen. Let me see if I can find the fourth queen. If you take the fourth queen, it's not looking the same way. It's looking at the other queens. So this is where I get my information, what they're telling me. This is 3 going one way, 1 going the other way, 3 and 1. Although they have 8 eyes, 8 on the top, 8 on the bottom. 88, the dividing gate. 8 and 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 8 times 8 is 64. 6 and 4 is 10. 6 and 4 is 10. Did I do that right? Hold on a second. Where am I? 8 times 8 is 64. Yes, 64. 64 plus 16 equals to 80. 8 plus 0 is 8. So 88 leads back into what is 8. But each one is an individual, okay, mathematical equation. So 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 8 times 8 is 64. 6 and 4 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. We now have 17 or 70. We either have 1 7 or 7 1, 1771, or back to what is 88. So we have 17 for what is it? What letter is it? Q. Remember that. There's many ways to get the Q. So when we have 7 and 8, what's going to link onto this is that if you add up 1 over to 12, females ending time becoming a woman, it equals to 78. If you say number 12, it equals to 87. If you, I'm just trying to think, use Q, 17, 1 and 7, 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 will now equal again 7 and 8. I'm trying to think where else we have to go. If you want to understand part of its formation, what you will do is, because of number 17, you will divide 17 by 3. 17 divided by 3 is 6 minus 1. Now, 17, right, that's the answer. So 17, hold on a second, 17 divided by 3, 3 times 6 is 18. Now 3 times 5 is 15 plus 2. So we have to see the situations like that. Every time you make a number perfect, you're either going to add 1 or minus 1, or you're going to add 2 or minus 2. When you're working with number 3, when you're working with the mirror, right, you're going to get, well, or you're going to get 0 exact. When you're working with the mirror, right, when you work with the mirror, you work with balls. When you work with the number 3, the mirror is 4, by the way. When you work with the number 4, you are going to understand this as balls, okay? I'm going to explain that in a second. When you work with the number 3, we're going to count it as strikes, strike and ball. The reason for that is when you play baseball, there's 4 balls and 3 strikes, 7. But in a baseball game, that will never happen to the same batter at one time. It'll be 4 balls and 2 strikes, meaning we got the dividing house and gateway, or it's going to be 3 strikes and 3 outs, and that gateway is now going to be in the rotation of the sun, the divided sun. The reason for that, what was the reason for that? Wow, there's so many things going on. Number 4, 4 times 4, 4 plus 4 creates 16 and 8. 1 and 6 is 7. It's now 7 and 8. And now I've created the dividing gate. And the reason for that is when you look at the 6, the 7, and the 8 card, you'll notice that 6 are all the same. And the only thing they're talking about is what's in the center. And I'm assuming those are the moons. I assume that the number 7 card is the singular moon of Earth, and then the 2 moons in the number 8 card for Mars. I'm not sure if I want to look at it that way, or should I use the singular moon of Earth right over here? in the ace area. Everything goes around this area over here. Then what I can do, if I want to do it that way, the gateway, I'm going to talk about either one moon of Mars or both moons of Mars, 2 moons and 1 moon. And then if I revert this back to the cube, I'm going to look at 7 being over here, right? 7 being over here, bait, and 8 being over here, 1 and 2. I'm not sure if you understood all that. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I'm sometimes a little bit lost for where I am and what I haven't spoken about yet. But everything I do can be found online, can be found in a game, can be found at the ATM, can be found in the alphabet. All the mathematical equations that I create are just to make things perfect. And I get a lot of rules and regulations through the dice, the deck of cards, baseball, hockey, football, soccer. It doesn't matter what it is. But what I want to do right now is I want to do this. So if we have 715, that would be also noted whether or not I have, because time has 2 dots. If you're talking about money, 3 numbers and a comma, or 2 numbers and a dot, which separates the penny from the hundreds. Now, depending on which position it is, in the penny position, it is gold and silver. Once you pass the penny position and you come into the dollar, you can now add bronze. The reason for that is first and second, and then it's first, second, and third. Or it's first and second, or first, second, and third. Now, when I use 4 of them, the question comes in, can I use the 2 pennies with the 3 dots, with the 3 numbers on the other side of the dot for the pennies? Or when I come to my first comma, which is also, I like to revert that, looking at it as number 9, which is birth. And then I put a number I now have in the thousands. And now we have the mirrored world. Now, 1,000 also is the letter M. M in Roman numerals. We can't leave out the Roman numerals. You see, in Roman numerals, we also, for dog and cat, as we started, is the cat becomes 100, and the dog is now 500. 5 plus 0 is 5. 100, 1 plus zeros is 1. 5 and 1 coming together as C and D for dog and cat, as 600, and 51 for Mars, or 1 and 5 Mars. So when I do 715, that would be 238. Let me see that. 715. Let me get a calculator here. 715 divided by 3 equals 238. So I'm going to go 238 times 3 equals to 714 plus 1. So it's 238 times 3 plus 1. To create that situation. So 8, 3, and 2. Now, there's many ways to look at this, and it has to be discussed, because I can say what I see and you can say what you see. Another thing is when you have the zeros, okay, if I use my keyboard, the zero is going to show me, the 0, right, is going to show me, is it over here, the 0? Can I get this a little bit close? Maybe I'll take the camera off and show it to you this way here. Let me see if I can do this. Right? So you see the moon on one side, the moon on the other side. 9 and 0 become the same. 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 7 is 7. 0 plus 6 is 6. 9 and 6 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 9 and 7 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 9 and 8 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. So you can see they're both doing the same function. I'm not really sure where I was. I want to think about 715 times. So now if I multiply it by 3, it becomes 2145. 2145, and does not include itself. And it also creates 3 and 9. Okay, so what I see over here is, first of all, 21 right? 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 15 is 45. So the 45 is going to tell me about all 9 numbers. The mathematics are going to tell me that the letter T and the letter I are present, IT. And if it's just the word time, ITME, telling me about matter, energy, Mars, Earth. It's telling me about Jesus Christ. It's telling me about the moon. It's telling me about man's bar mitzvah, to where the woman moves into the 13th year, rotation and energy from the moons and the oceans. 39 is for angel. 39 is also um, for 10, the word 10. Why do we need 10? 10 creates the mirror, the completion. It creates your first rotation. 4, and you have to go around 4, then you go around again back to the top 4, and you go around back to the top 4, counting the place you stand. I know it sounds complicated, right? I'm trying to think what else goes with 715. Oh God, yes, 715. Oh my God, Burgundy. When you play the game of pool, both the 7 ball and the 15 ball, they are the same. And 1 and 5 equals to 6. So 7 becomes what is Earth, and that 1 and 5 Mars becomes what is Mars. If it was 51, I'd say Mars, but now you're talking in quarters, because 15 is 1/4 of 60 seconds. 1/4 is also noted to be 25 when it comes to percentages. So now when you talk in percentages, now it's the numeric value for Earth. And when you go about and you do this, what happens is when you do this, let me see if I can create this. When you do this, right, here's number 9, 3 times 3, 3 plus 3, and here's number 6. It creates the percentage sign and number 8. And now I like to bring a little bit more formation in this. I'm not exactly on, I can't see it perfectly. I add in Lamed letter over here, and now we have what is in and out. You can also start looking at this as a building if you like, and we can just do that. Did I do that? Did I get that? I don't know if we should do it. Let me see. I can't see. Anyways, it's basically like that. It just, let me see. Did I get that right? No, that has to go there like that. That line shouldn't go there. Except my cat's sitting right here, and I can't do the full work. Maybe you want to hold those for me. Okay, so and if you look at it, it looks like two, like rockets, like what is it, alien ships or something, right? Oh, I don't like when it's not exact. I don't like when it's not exact. But anyways, maybe a dreidel, maybe a dreidel, one on top of the other, reflecting worlds, right? One on top of the other. So we did the 715. That 715, just give me a second. I have to think a little bit. So 7 times 15 will be 105, noted to be the hand of God, the letter of J-E, which says I, right? 1, which is A, and 5, which is E. J-E, I have. J-E, hold on a second. J, but the E becomes Joe. I'm just trying to rotate this. So 7 and 5 is 22. 22 is the word go. 22 is the word ape. So you can now end up with 7 times 15 is 105, plus 22 is 127. 127 is the house of bait. I like to add it to a single digit instead of using the complete 127. I'll add it to a single digit because there's a lot of complicated things that has to be discussed, right? Also, when you have the number 1 in front, what I sometimes do is I relate it to understanding what I see here. When I divide any one of these numbers by 3, these 2 rows will always say 0.333, 0.666. When I get to this row, it'll say 1.333, and it'll say 1.666. When I get to this row, it'll say 2.333, 2.666. Each one of these is 1, 2, 3, making 3, 6, and 9 perfect as ABC. A, B, C. The same way, yeah, in the stock market, oh, my stock went up 100%. That means it went up the same amount as what it is. But if you have 100% of something, you only have all of it. When you have 90 of something, if you go to paint and you make something the size of 90, it'll be reduced by 10%. If you want it higher than 10%, you'll go at 110. And then you'll end up with the towers that fell. And if you took a look at the design looks exactly like the towers, 110. Also to note that 110, take away the 0, it becomes 2 towers. Now it's 1111. 22 is for ape. 22 is for the word go. Ape has 3 letters equaling to 81. Go has 2 letters equaling to 54. When you have go, I'm a little bit all over the place. I want to come back to it. When you have go 22 plus 29. Hold on a second. 54 plus 32. Sorry about that. Wow, I need my stuff. Where is it? Just 1 second. I need to find erase. I need to find my erase stuff. I know you're on it, kitty cat. I seen it before I got home. Is it in here somewhere? There it is. There it is. Yeah, even that. So this one becomes 32, and ape 22 and 59. And what's funny about this shows up on the dice cube, 5 and 9. The invert of 5 is 9, and this one I like to go ram and ape. The reason for that, or arm, is because this word equals to 32. S is an add-on. S is an add-on, is the 19th letter AI. It's created back to number 13. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 is 3 and 4. 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 equals to 12, equals to 0, 7, equals to what is 19, and back to your 127 again. And where did I get that 127 from? 7 times 15 equals to 105. 7 plus 15 equals to 22, equals to this. But at the same time, we have to continue this, reduce it or increase it. So 1 times 5, or 1 plus 5 is 6. So now we're going to do this, which will equal to 42 and 13, equaling to what is 55. Now we have to go maybe to some TV and some advertising, Freedom 55, Liberty 55, and use all those words. So what we have is pass equals to 55, and we have sky equals to 55. Note there are 2 of these and 1 of these. I'm not going to get into that. I'll just get into it real short, that when you use square paper, it looks like a 5. And it's funny that this word, right, the 14th letter, the 5th letter, and the 23rd letter, it is the N and the W that are going to do this. In the game of roulette, okay, 16 and 19, 18 and 21 are red, red, black, black. And over here it's, sorry, red, 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 and over here is black and black. 17 and 20. 37, 37, 37. 37 is created by 11 and 13. That's your 37. Creation of the dividing gates in the moon. AI. This 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 will equal 3 and 2, which equals to 5. 5 and 7 is the numeric value in the moon, gets reduced down to 3 when we mathematically create this equation. Here I'm only going to get 1 equation. If I want to use the 0 as an O, I can create another equation, and this one's going to end up connecting Mars. But I don't want to get into that because there's, hold on a second. Let me get into I want to answer all the questions first. Let me see. 8 times 10 is 80. I know that one. Yes, 8 times 10, but 81 is Venus and 18 is Resh. The 18th letter is the R. I like to say it's Resh in the alphabet. 3 18s to give me my perfect triangle. It's going to be 54. It'll be the word love, the word sun. And again, if you can help me out with what the IT system is. And also noting that number 9 and number 20, the T letter, are not in the same, they're in the same position. T is over here, and then I is over here. They're not going up the ladder. When I just do, let me see something. There's also this. Mars and Pluto come together. Let me see where we are. Yeah, right over here. Okay. Here is 1, right over here, 3, 5, 7, 5, 3, 1. Well, where 7 is, when you go downward, you go down to 9. So where you have Mars over here, both here, Mars here, you only have one 7th gate here, and then you have the other 7th gate here. This one is the T gate, right over here. It is the 20th letter. But why does T go over here as the 20th letter? Because when you work with this, with another system that I use, which is called gematria, okay, gematria 7, meaning you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, what is this? Number 2 will connect 1 and 3. So man is connected in the house of Bait. Number 4 will connect 5 with 3. So 4 and 5, the sun pass, and 4 and 3, the house of DC, direct current perhaps. And 6 is what's going to connect what is 5 and 7, which is connecting the moon. 66, also known as freedom and woman, now connects the moon. Now, when we talk 55, 55 is over here. And what's inside the connecting gates over here of 66? It is number 9, and that is the birth. And the reason for that, let me see if I can get out to the side of the, no, I can't. The reason for that is because the invert of this cube of what is 9 is 5. Not only is it 9 and 5, but it's also 85, the matrix. Not only is it 85, it's 36, 63, 41, 1, 4. Why? Because every single area is 9. This is in one solid. This is not in solid. I show you full formation here. Another thing to talk about number 9 and number 7 is that number 9 is repeated 9 times in the French language. Number 7 is repeated 9 times in the French language, and number 8 is repeated 9 times in the French language, but the other numbers are not. The reason for that is because you say 11 or you say 11. I don't hear number 1. When you say 12, 12 in the French language, I don't hear it either in English or French. When I say 13, I can almost hear the 13, the 3, right? But, right? And in 13 and 13, so I can almost hear part of what is 3. And when I say 13, I'm also beginning with the word third. And when IR come together, they are created from 360. 36, 3 times 6, 3 plus 6 equals 18 and 9. And that is your number 27, the house of Bait. And 27 is right over here. Now, what happens? Sorry, over here. There's 7 missing. Now, what happens with this is when you go 2, 2, 2, 2. First of all, the difference between 2 and 7 is 5. When you go 2, 2, 2, let's say 6, and you go 7, 7, 7, which is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. There was a difference of 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. When you go 2, 2, 2 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. So the mathematics bring it right back to its own reality, to its own exact mathematical problem. How the stock market works. how stock market works is that's a statement question. At the same time, um, I I don't know if I can get into that. The word how is also who. Um, it also can say, oh, I believe part of the stock market, besides it being whatever it is for money, I also believe that in Bitcoin, they start talking about bits. The minute you start talking about bits and fractals, etc., and you need all this conscience, this memory, this storage system. So Bitcoin for me is a storage system. It's all about storage and wallets and keeping safe. So they're keeping safe the information, and has really nothing to do with money other than figuring out how we can create this without crashing, okay, without crashing the system, losing all information on those who are in the file folders equaling to what is in the mirror world, because inside the word folder, you're starting off with what is for. I know it might seem out of the ordinary to look at it that way, but you have to open up all the understandings for words. Just like the word septic, skeptic, and all the words that end with TIC. And then all of a sudden, boom, bang, you got TikTok. So now you have TIC, right? Working with what is, and the IT is with C, noting that that isn't part of what is creation. 3 is your base creation. Now, is it your beginning of the creation, or is it the end life that we live, the 60 seconds out of the 100% of time? So we can go A, B, C, D, creating the mirror, and 4, starting over in the triangle, or we can go 4, 3, 2, and that's really where our 90 seconds and our 90 minutes should have actually been. We should have been living in 4, 3, 2, and not 1, 2, 3, 4. Note again, 4 numbers versus 3 numbers. Now, again, it has to be written down. I don't know if some of the stuff I do, I just can't explain, and I'm not sure if it's understood when I do explain. Also note that our 432 vibration is 3 days of 1,440 minutes equals to 4,320 minutes. Now note also that when I use the 4th day of 1,440 minutes, what happens is I get 5,740 minutes. Now 57, okay, I'm not going to get into that part right now, but when you get that 5760, if you look at the Hebrew calendar, the year 5760 was when you look at the year 5760, it's actually the year 2000. That was the Great Reset. It's already happened. Now you have to wait 30 years. And one of the things about waiting the 30 years is 10 and 20, 1 and 2 have to come together. And when you finish, if you're writing this down, when you finish with 60, all the way up to 69, 3 times 3, 3 plus 3, right? That's going to fit into Jesus Christ and the moon. But when you finish with that, what happens in French is you say 60 and 10. So now you're repeating. And in French, when you say 80, you're saying 4 times 20. So 7 and 8 right away is showing me my gateway. Okay, and when you say 90, you're bringing them all together, ABC, saying 4 times 20 plus 10, ABC comes all together at 90. So now if we go back to what is 432 equals to 9 or 90 or 900, okay, the 10 is your birth, is your mirrored birth inside of this. So that's your 100%, and that's where we should be, and we shouldn't be in the ABCD, we should be in the DCB or BCDs, whichever way you want to put it. And also note that when you add it, it equals to 9. When you multiply, it becomes 24. That 24 mathematically will be 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 6 and 8. Now 6 and 8 is the house of DC. And again, back to the dog and the cat, the D and the C, which is what happens when you get to D and C and all the 7s, you have to flip this dice 180 degrees. All the other ways to meet 1, 2, 3 is a movement of 90 degrees. 1, 2, and 3. When you go to the next number 4, I got to move 180 degrees. So now instead of going 180, I go 18. Instead of going 90, I go 9. 3 times 6, 3 plus 6 equals to 9 and 18, 27, the house of Bait, where the voided area of 1 is inside of these 2 areas. You can say it's the 1 moon of Earth, the 2 moons of Mars, and then you just turn it around and they come together. So these 3 make up and are created through this. Now, 4 is on the other side. Now with 4, what happens is you're going to go to that corner. The 4 is also inside the 5 and also inside the 6. I don't need the 4. I need the 5 and 6, 11, in which comes from 1 and 2. See the 1 and 2 here? Well, the opposite to that 1 and 2 is, let me see it. Let me see it. Do I get, yes, right there. See the way I can just show you that like that? That's the opposite of 1 and 2 is 5 and 6. When you play the game of craps, they're screaming out, yo, 11. Yo, 11. Well, guess what? The letter Y is the 25th letter, Earth. The O is the 15th letter, Mars. Earth 5 and 2, 7, Mars 1 and 5, 6. So again, comes back together. Not only that, that on your telephone, when you look at the letters on the telephone, you are going to find you look at the letters on the telephone, the number 7 has 4 letters, PQRS. The number 9 has 4 letters, WXYZ. The number 7, if I remember correctly, adds up to 72. Is it 72? 70. The number 9, which 70 equals 7. The number 9 equals to 98. 9 and 8 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. So right away they talk about a gate. 7 and 8 come back together. Now, when you take this away and you go to the ATM, they have taken the Q away from 7 and they took the Z away from number 9. And they put it on the number 1. Now, Q 17, 1 and 7 is 8. Z 26, 2 and 6 is 8. We got 88. We've got 88, creating 8 on number 1. But not only that, when you add up 17 and 26, it equals to 43. D and C, the House of District of Columbia. D and C, 3 and 4. But it goes even deeper than that. That they removed it and put it there, and it's number 43, and it creates AI. But it goes even deeper than that. I'm just trying to remember where I was with the thought. Yes, it goes deeper than that. That when you get to number 43, the word red is 43. Republican is red. Red goes with hot. Republican, red, hot. Repossession. When you go to number 34, the opposite way, it becomes cold. The word cold. It's now blue because it's cold. And when it's blue, it's a boy. When it's red, it's a little devil. But then also they call the pink, adding white, becomes the female or the girl. Let me just read. Let me see where I am. Love the cat. Thank you very much. Number 108, 36, 36, 36, 108 into the house of Bait. 108, Reish. It is also, you can also look at that as October is the 10th month, but yet they say octo for 8. Also, it's 1 and 8, and it creates another gate. 1 times 8, 1 plus 8 will create 9 and 8. And the 9th letter and the 8th letter in the English language or in the English alphabet or whatever alphabet you want to call it, H and I are the same design. And when you put them together, it creates a window. That window is Mars. When you put the 8th letter together and the 9th letter together, right? This is what you get. Now, the people who are just starting to learn now might not see this because our keyboard only shows us this for the letter I. And also note that the small L looks like that. So now we have to try and understand what is happening between the ninth letter and the 12th letter. And the minimum weight to get to this 12th letter is to have 3 plus 9 equals to 12. Then on the next level, you're going to have 4 plus 8 equals to 12. And then you're going to have 5 plus 7 equals to 12. And then you're going to have 6 and 6 equals to 12. Now, each one of these equations mathematically is going to tell a different story. Number 6 and 6 is going to talk about Pluto. It's going to talk about the house of Bate and the E world. The reason for that is the mathematics. 6 times 6, 6 plus 6 equals to 36 equals to 12. And this equals to 48. And the word sun equals to 48. The word ring equals to 48. The word pole equals to 48. And Pluto equals to 84. This is the beginning mathematical equation onto what is the RAM into the E world and the dividing house between night and day. This is where the cat will come in. It'll create 16 and 8, equaling to the 24-hour day, to where we get 2/3 here and 1/3 over here. So we can see the man coming out at number 1 and 3 is the 1/3. Man becomes the night. This equation will now give us 8 and 6. Now, when you go to the game of craps, this is a wager of six jetons of 6. You must put 6 down in order to get a return of 7. So 6 is going to be in regards of Mars, and 7, the payout, will be in regards of Earth. And when you get $1 more, what is the calculation of this to get into this? Reduce this to this and this to this is going to give you a calculation. I don't know what it is. 1.15 is it? What is it? What is it? 7 divided by 6 equals 1.16. And what is the 1.16? Let me just see something. 55 divided by 34. 1.61. No. Okay. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. So this is because here's an 8. Now, it's not just this 8 over here, because this 8 over here, 6 and 2, 8, is also 3 and 7. 9 and 9 for 9 complete area spaces. It's not only that it's 6 and 2, it's also, hold on a second, 5 and 1. Number 6 and 2 equals to the queen. It also equals to bear. You can also use it. There's a multitude of things. You can also go game or card. Mathematically, it's going to create what are the corners to Rubik's Cube. It'll create 12, 6 times 2, and 8. It'll be number 38. Everything is rotating around it. That's where the queen fits in. Why 37 is because every side face has 9. Why number 51 is because the inverted to 2 that you see is 5. And the inverted here that you see 6 is 1. So the queen is invert to 51, which is Mars. This is the dividing gate because everything divides between 6 and 8 to what is 5 and 9 to what is 4 and 10. 27 in the house of Bate over to Mars. 42 total. Did I get that right? 9, 8, 17, 27, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, I got that right. 6, 5, 4. The 14 is 14, 14, 14, 42. So you're going to divide the gate. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 6 and 8. And the word house equals to 68. The word planet equals to 68. And note that inside planet is 10 and also ET. Now it's I like to look at the sun, right? And you look at the sun, and when it's beautiful outside, you can say ET, right? But what if you go ETTE? You know what this word is? It's not sun, it's now summer. This is summer in French, equals to 50 or 59 coming over here. The odds in this are 7 to 5, so now we're talking about the moon, or partly the moon. But it's not only 59, because 5 and 9, there's a whole lot more to be said about 5 and 9. Because what happens with 5 and 9, first of all, what's ironic about 5 and 9 is that the numeric value for 5 is 42. And the numeric value for 9, I wish I can show my face and do this. I get the energy that way. I can see it better that way. Both 9 and 5 equal to 42. When you add them up, it equals to 84. It brings me back to Pluto. Not only that, that within the word, I must remove completely the word 9. And inside the word 5, I'm only going to left with V and E, 22 and 6. The reason for that is repeating letters. I keep repeating letters on one side, I take them all away, or I can just reduce them. Okay, Scrabble taught me that reality. I'm trying to see where I was with this right now. 5 and 9. Mars, yes, the dice cube, the 2/3, the 2/3 again, the word ram that climbs the mountains. The ram climbs the mountain. 3223 equals to 5. I'm just trying to see where I'm going. There's so many things. Yes, I created the window at H and I, right? And creating that window also, when I say hi, when they're putting the bricks out, when you're laying the bricks, right? When you're putting down the bricks, we're going to create this design. When we create that design, putting down the bricks as bricklayers, right? See, each one is a square. You see the squares, all these squares? Here's the squares. And then the other square, or the second square, right? We can see this over here. So number 52 comes out, right? Well, not only does 52 come out, is that you're using up 2 of them. We also get the H, horizontal, what is this, vertical, and the I. The H and the I come together. Here is the bar between them. Earth is noted to have a bar between it. Mars is a division. Mars becomes the window for Earth. Let me get this. Did I get this right? Let me see that. And this would be Earth. 1 and 8 comes into Earth. And Mars is 0, 4. And 40 is for blue. So the resident angel comes into the birth here. But when you say 18, it's not like any other word because it's going to be said 10 and 8. The French tell me it's 10 and 8. Why? Because they go 18. They repeat 10. When they repeat it in French, it's number 37. 10 in French is 37, while 10 in English is 39. Angels of creation at the gate. 9 and 3 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. And 1. The gate of man, 13. And that gate is the moon. But it's not just Earth's moon, because 1 moon for Earth and 2 moons for Mars. So if I'm going to use number 57 for the moon, here I'm going to use 114. Here I'm going to get 3. Here I'm going to get 6. Now it's funny because when you multiply it and add it, you get these 2 letters. They are the only 2 letters, okay, in the alphabet that only have 2 in the house. Therefore, their reverse is 54 within themselves. They're the only ones that revert to themselves. So there's ironically no reverse in it. And the total of these 2 letters will actually just be 27 because there are no added letters when I reverse these 2. This will equal to red. This will also equal to 14 and 9 equaling to 23. The other one that equals with this is a little confusing because there's so many things going on. Number 35, right, equals to what is 15 and 8. See, the 8 and the 9 come together for the high birth. Well, when the 8 and 9 come together, so does the 15 and the 14. They're born into the IT system, 15 and 14, the letter N and the letter O, and it's also the beginning of pi, right? And what's ironic is that they both equal to 23. 15 and 8, 23, 14 and 9, 23. 5 and 9, 6 and 8. They are the exact dividing gates when you refer to the cubes. 6 and 2, 8. 5 and 1, 6. To where 4 and 5, 9. To where 3 and 2, 5. Pi is 3.1415. The two of them together is 29 or 92. 1 and 5 is 6. 1 and 4 is 5. It becomes 3.14159265. It could mean nothing, but that's what it is. This in French also is going to go to 18, 36, 54, 72, 90. That's where your birth comes in, right over here. So it becomes, they're all number 9, and each one is a mathematical equation. This is where the sun, the numeric value for the sun, and also the word love. And everything is going to stem from a base of INR. And this is the house of Bate, which works out this one over here, your 2 and 7. And this is mathematically perfect because 2 and 7, when you multiply them, they will both give the same difference to the number. Let me show you. Let's say I'll go 5 times 2 equals to 10. And you go 5 times 7 equals to 35. 3 plus 5 equals to 8. 1 plus 0 equals to 1. Now, do you understand what just went on? Take a close look. Do you see what's going on? That the difference between the number you started with and the number you end up with is 1. To the number you started with and the number you end up with is 1. When you add up 1 through 9, it equals to 45. The average is 5. 27 is right over here. So that's 1, and this creates the IT system. 1 and 8 is also what is over here. The invert is 6 and 3. What do I mean by that? Is there's 3 here and 3 here and 3 not there. 3 and 3 and 3 empty. 1 in the center, and 8 that goes around. So when you put 1 here and 1 here, you can actually almost see that the 8 is right over here. But it's also 2 hearts that come together. Things are square, they're rounded off. Here is 1 heart. I did this for somebody the other day. They didn't see it. I'm going to try and do it again. Here's another heart. So here's 1 heart. And then here's another heart. Now, what just happened here is that this is not inside of here. This is not inside of here. And this one is not inside here. There's 2 individual areas. 2 individual areas. But if you go ahead and do that, we now have our cube. And do we do that, or should I just be adding this? Because I'm just going to be adding another area over here. And now I can add, let me see, did I get this right? Yeah, and now I can get that other area over here. So this is how this piece works out. I'm not really sure how deep I should go into this art because there's many other aspects going on. So this is this reality. Now, if I went a little bit deeper, I cannot do anything else with this, but I can do something with this. This one will end up being, I'm just trying to see, this one will turn to 1, this one will turn to 4. I need to create number 7. Number 7, this is the void, 3 and 8. Here is your 3 and here is your 8. I'm going to stop, I'm going to look, I'm going to get something to drink, I'm going to come back. I hope nobody is lost. It's a very long process. I mean, I'm not doing that as an excuse. Why is this 3 and 8? Because here's 5 fingers, 6, 7, 8. And it's number 3 because it's 1, 2, 3. It's also Resh, 18. Because if I use my toes as digits, I have 10 toes plus 5 plus 3, 18. So Wednesday divides my week. 3 and 8 divide my week. So 13. I have 1 foot or 2 feet for 10, 11, 12, 13. Or I use a foot and a hand. So now you can see we can make 2 different equations. When you go to 18, I must use everything. And I'm only leaving out 1 piece. So let me take this off from here. I think there's somebody grabbing me. Hey, what are you doing? Were you grabbing me? Are you grabbing me? Are you grabbing me? What's up? What's up? You want to grab me? Yeah? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah? Yeah? You're going to grab something? Okay, so let me continue on. I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to come back. I'm going to see what's written on the board. I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to continue on talking about these cubes. Not only that, we have a hockey game going on here. We also have a baseball game going on here. Why do they play series of 3 games? Why do they play series of 2 games? Did you know that when a baseball game ends, there is 108 outs? The reason for that is because both teams get offense and defense. There's 27 outs per team per game. Offense and defense is 54. Offense and defense is 54 because that's the way it's marked up in the scorecard. 4 balls and 3 strikes will never happen. So remember I was talking about 3 for the strike, because 3 strikes you're out. It's the perfect obligation. When you're building, you have to know what you're going to mark down. You have to give enough spaces to order to mark that down. Just like when you're moving something into a room, either you take it apart and rebuild it and take it apart again. So we have to understand also that aspect. Even buildings that normal squares that they call it in one part of the world, that most squares are 8 feet high, not counting what is in between where the electric is. Now, how far is that? Because electric will now connect to the moon, and now we'll understand the building aspect of that going along. Anyways, I'm going to get something to drink. Going to come back. You want to take a look and see what's going on up there. I'm going to put on a little light. Maybe we can put a little light and see what's going on in the ceiling. And let me see. Let me do it that way. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to get a drink. I'm going to come back. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, thank you very much. Much appreciated. I'm coming back. Going to the washroom for a minute. Give me 1 minute. Remember 10 and 8, right? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm going to repeat it when I get back. But the 10 is number 39, and 8 is 49. There's a difference of 10. Just give me a minute. Also to note, if we're going back to number 3 and 4, right? Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Halloween. 304 and 62. Halloween is on the 304th day of the year, and in a leap year, it's in the 305th day of the year. And in both cases, with counting the day you're on, there's 62 days left to go, or 61. So we have to understand that if you're counting in certain ways, we can count today and then count today to the last day. So it's 61 and 1 because you can count to the day you're on. 61 and 62. Halloween is on the 304th day of the year. And like I said, when I started this video, I was talking all about what is 3 and 4. Maison, DC, District of Columbia. And I use District of Columbia as a focal point for where I heard DC. And when I mentioned Columbia, now I have to think about bowling because of bowling balls. And once you think about bowling balls, you're going to see how the pins are set up and the artwork that comes out of it. I might not do it tonight, but I just have to tell you and note that in the 10th frame, right, you get to roll 3 times or get 3 strikes. So we have a combination. And then all our combinations in bowling are coming together in 3s, right? You can get 3 strikes. Now it's called a turkey. Now, one thing about turkey is that Syria and Israel play part right over here in the throat of the terrier, the dog terrier. Okay, I'm not sure how we're going to spell it. All I know is there's R's and I and E and R and T in it. And the reason for that, if you go look at Google, I don't like to use that word, I'm sorry. If you go look at the maps, right, you're going to see that the whole area, starting at the top where Turkey is all the way down to Yemen at the tail, looks like a dog. And I like to use all of these for reference, and that's just an outline. Remember, you might see the whole picture, but I might only want the outline or the dimensions or whatever else I can find to break it down. Everything has to be broken down for a better understanding. So that's how I do my work. Let me just go through everything. So we did that. Okay, yes, I had them and Lilith all in Libra. Explain that, because that's pretty weird to have Lily TH, right? So we know it because you put TH, we know it's in the mirror area because the TH comes time heaven, which is 2 and 8, which is again in man's time. Bit for a horse for me. Bit was a horse for me. Bit, the horse put the bit in its mouth, and now you're controlling the horse. So it's B. Okay, and that B can be in the house of bait if you want to refer, or number 2, maybe talking about the 2 moons of Mars in the IT system, which is part of the sun system. The reason for that is because to get the IT, it's the mathematics of 4-5 or 5-4. The word fox is number 45, and when you add all these together, 1 through 9, it equals to 45, and the average is 5. Clockwork Orange, yes, Clockwork Orange. Number 60. Something big will happen in 2028. 2028 is 48, and now we're talking about the cycle. Our cycle runs at 84. 1-part cycle. I will explain that because there's many, many ways to do this. I need a computer. I need to put all these numbers in so it can spit it out. When you look at these, when you look at this, there are 26 cubes. I just want to show you the numbers that are here. There are 26 cubes. If every cube was like this, it would have 6 sides. Times 26 is 156. 156 plus 26 is 192. AI in the house of Bait, 92 the birth, the IT system in the sun. Now, there's an area space that everything is being held on and controlled by the single area space. So the actual area space in here is 3 by 3 by 3 or 27, the house of Bait. 3 games of hockey. Why? Because we have 3 pucks. If you take a look, if I drew this in a circle because it spins all around, and if I put a pen over here and spun it around, it'll look like a hockey puck. There's 3 periods in a game. Every period of 20 minutes, 60 minutes. If we have periods, they also know that periods are the cycles of the moon, which are 28. So 3 by 28 equals to 84. When you pick up a dice cube, there are 21 dots times 4 equals to 84. There are 2 teams that play hockey against each other. You play it here at my place, I play at your place. We'll play the best of 7. Whoever wins 4 first. Well, 7 and 4 happens to be matter. 47 is time. 74 is also Jesus. We each get a chance to play 7 games. Jesus Christ, 77, 74, Mars, Earth. So now I did this 84. Now you need 4 times 84 or 336 or the coming, if you want to use 33 for the sun, 6 and 9 rotation, 33, you invert it to 44. Now you're going to get the division between night and day, which is created from either the word go, 22, or 8, 22, 2 times 2, 2 plus 2, or 48, 4 times 8, 32. 4 times 8 equals to 32. 4 plus 8 equals to 12. And now you have 44 again. Now the 44 is 33, but added to the single digit, you're going to get 53. I'm going to show you. 3 and 2, 5. 1 and 2, 3. 3 and 1, 4. 2 and 2, 4. This will create 16 and 8 equaling to 24. This will create 15 and 8 equaling to 23. The division in the house of DC is that. And this, let me do it this way better. Both equate and come perfect in the house of Bait. 6 and 5, 11. And that is the student of creation. 47 of time. This inverted alphabet will create C and X. For the cat, let's say, the X factors for the cat, and we have D and W. These are divided, therefore, I count these as being divided. Now, the question could be a little bit different, because what if I went over to U, and here I went over to M? Although it works out as 13 and 21 equaling to 34, where this is number 3 and 4, and this is 24 and 23 equaling to 6 and 4, Zion, Israel, and 0. There, this will be 47, and we're back to the numeric value for time. What is this over here? The word 1 also equals to 3 and 4.7. You know what's funny about that? The invert to 1 is 6. 6 equals to 52. 5 and 2 equals to 7. You know what's funny? The 7th is divided by 6 and 8 at the 7th gate, 1 and 6. And that is right over here in the house of Resh. The crown, 24 and 11 equaling to 35, will be the crown to this numeric value. Male and female, numeric value for the power and energy of the moon. 7 and 3, 1. 5 and 5, 1. What is 1? It's either a window or it's all that surrounds it. Mars gets 4 boxes. Earth gets 9 boxes, but they don't only get that. it's 4 and 9, and here it's 9 and 16, or 9 and 7. Where do I get this? In order to create this, I need 4 dots to the center. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I need 12 dots on the outside. So I know right away I got purple. So I have red. And I also have blue. Where do I get this from? When you go to the game of pool, both the 4 and the 12 are purple. And when you get that, the word purple is 88, as Pegasus is 88, also known to be found in the constellation of NGC of 7286 in the house of Beta divided gate, of the high divided gate. The reason for that and why I say that is because when you put out number 6, it's also number 9. So it becomes 6 and 8 and 9 and 8, the same way I was speaking before with number, let's say 5 and 9 is not only 5 and 9, it can also be 5 and 6. It can also be 2 and 6 because you can flip them over. They're noted to be played in many different ways. They can be used. And the mathematical equation of 9 and 8 is absolutely perfect. It brings everything together because you must bring these two together. This is singularity. Nothing has happened yet until you create it in 3. So the question is this 1 and 2 are the only ones that count? And you go to 37, or 7 and 7 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5, or do you go to 35? I'm going to explain that. I'm not really sure which equation to use, but when I'm calculating time, let's say you tell me it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's also to be noted that it's 1600 hours. So the hours will switch, but the minutes will not. So I have to ask myself and leave the possibility open that I'm going to leave the 7 the way it is. 7 and 7 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5, but it doesn't matter because 5 and 7 come together with number 6, which inside of this design over here, 7 is over here connecting both 5 and 5 on each side. And here's number 7, and there's 5 and 5 on each side. But it's not this. This is, here's 7. You see this box over here, right? And here's 5 right over here. And what's connecting it is 6. 2, 4, 6, right, are the connectors between, or a rib. You know, they said we'll take out a rib from Adam or Eve. Well, these are all ribs when you create them. There's this one here. Here's the multiple design. This design over here is, I'm trying to see which design this is. It's got 2 rows only. 1, 2, 3 rows. Okay, that, yeah, and this is something to do with the game of roulette, but I'm not going to get into that. I don't think I made this design perfect, so I don't want to talk about this design anymore. That's what I used to do. This piece comes off, and you notice the way this is done. This piece is, let me see, is it divided perfectly? Yeah, this would be a Mars design because everything divides right on the line. An Earth design would be where one of the squares, one of these squares will be in the center of all the other squares. So I'm going to take that off for now. Yeah, and here's another thing over here is, you see these? These are all forget about this one here, but these are all obligations from the roulette wheel, including possibly these 3 aliens that when you have one here and one here, you create the difference of one over here. See the 3 heads that line up? This is off the roulette wheel. It's the red. See the red over here? This one over here is 9 and 12. This one is 9 and 12, 9 and 12, 9 and 12, 9 and 12, 9 and 12. I flip-flopped them, right? Just like your DNA weave. Here is number 111. This one over here is 14. This one here is 23. They create the cube. I like to call it the house of Mecca. So we're going to just get out of there. Different ways. This is different equations, 9 times 9, 9 plus 9, and what you can do with your star system math. And then over here, the maximum you can do. And I needed to create the Star of David. And one thing about the Star of David, right, the three triangles is because that's how we're working, right? And here, when I created the, you remember I did this before about a half an hour ago? Here's the 9. Here's your 6. 3 times 3, 3 plus 3, 9 and 6, creating the percentage. Also note, it's found on number 5. The percentage key is found on number 5. So if you take a note, I have this line here, and this line here. That's 6, right? It's not 8, it's 6. When you, I'm just trying to see where I am with this. Where was I going? That was 6. That was 6. I don't remember where I was. What was I thinking? Just give me a second. Let me look at that 6. Why is okay? I did 6. Just let me take a quick look why I'm doing that. Yes, 6 of 8, right? Because the complete star system, when you go to connect it, your 8 ends up over here connecting both areas. So that is what is your 6 and 8. And now you're connecting between two houses. And that creates your 8 of 8. So when you only create 7, it'll talk about what is the king. When you talk about 6, it'll be the jack. When you talk about the 8, where the queen connects both eyes in this situation over here. Let me go on to read a few more of the comments, and I'll come back and continue on. I'm hoping if you have any questions, do not be shy, because guess what? This ain't just for me. I mean, it's a whole lot of fun to say what I say for what I find, but if we can't, in this, where we are right now between me and you can't hear me. You can't hear me. And if you could hear me, and if you say I do, then how do you hear me? Then how does the vibration get from me to the microphone? How does it get from the microphone to your PC? And how does it get to you? Because between and you is energy. The matter moves, vibrates, and you hear me. And everything has been distorted. Do you think you should be wearing these all the time to see perfect? So you shouldn't see everything else that's in between, because what you see is not because you're not seeing right. It's because it's there. The distortion is there because what are you seeing? What is distorting you? Is it what's in your eye, or is it the energy? 5740, 1980. We can do that. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention that I didn't mention is in the year 5760, in the reset, is 3 by 19, the letter S. 3 by 20, the letter T. When S and T comes together, it's first, it's last, it's gold. You have to remember that. ST, number 39, the angels, 10 angels, the mirror. I said that beautifully, I think. I don't know what I said. It's gone by so fast. Oh, now if you say Brother Deuce, okay, now you're talking about 22, all the twos. Grand Dog Logan. Let me see this. It says 2 people, so I'm not sure who's here, but that's okay. 2028. Okay, you put a question mark, minus 84. 2028 minus 84 is 1944. Okay, 44 is the division between night and day. 94 is this, which is the ring and the birth. The ring and the birth. The reason for that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The ring and the birth, both with Mars. I'm just trying to see where I was. There was something I left out. I'm a little upset. I don't like to forget. Yes. To get back to Mars and Earth, right? What we did here, when we do this, it becomes 3 times 3 equals to 9, or 3 to the power of 2. Remember that. This is day. Number 23 comes together as day, 2/3. It's also going to be known as 2/3, or 1.3 into 2 is 1 1/3. 1 2/3. How do we get this into here? 1.5, which is Mars, goes into here. And when you give 3 to 2, 1.5 times 4 equals to 6. When you give 3 to 2, 3 times 2 equals to 6. Not sure if you understood that. I'm not sure if I did that right. But anyways, let's keep this away. When you do this, you go 2 to the power of 2. You go 3 to the power of 3 equals to this. So you have ape, you have ram, you have what is rotation in the sun. 3 times 3, 3 plus 3. Because that next number, which is 9 and 6, is what's going to create 54 for the sun and what is going to create 15 for Mars. And here's your 69. And your 69 was that piece of art I did over here. Now back to baseball for a second. You have 4 balls and you have 3 strikes. That's your baseball. It's 7. But either you're going to get 4 and 2 or you're going to get what is 3 and 3. That's the maximum you'll have will be 6. So this one over here, when you have the balls, you're dividing the house. The opposite side is this. This will be what is dividing the sun. I use that terminology, or it is in rotation of the yin and the yang. It's rotating inside the sun, because the mathematics here, right? And I like to use this as the ring. I like to go 4 for the ring, and I like to go 2 for the pole. The reason for that is there's 4 sides, and then there's 2 sides for that equation. So this will equal to 14, and this will equal to 15, and this also is going to be, can I use a remnant of what will be pi 3.141592. Sorry, it's 29. This is 5, and this is 6, and that's the beginning of pi. 29, 92, 11. 9 and 2, 11. 9 and 2, 11. And 11. This cube over here is 11, 11, 11. There are 9 areas over here. The opposite side has 9 areas. Okay, equals to 18. Then you have 9 areas there and 9 areas there, 18. And then you have 9 areas here and 9 areas here, 18. Remember, you play the game, right? That's 54. You need 2 of them, minimum, and more, because when we're designing, we have to understand how many we need according to the cells that we use, how we build it, the minimum size that we need. And this will become 108. So what we're going to do with this, okay, is we're going to use 2 of these to 36 and then 1 of them, because we're going to use 4 at a time. We're going to use 4, and then we're going to use 2. But when you're playing a game, the only one you're going to use is this one here, but you can still see what's around here. Okay, you're enjoying. So you understand, when we're playing this game, I only get to see 5 sides. If I only see 5 sides, I see 6 up here, I see 6 up here, and I see 14 around. Or I'll see 4 up here and 14 around. So that's another situation. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. When you have 6, 1 up, and 14, and 14, and 14, and 14, and 14, and 14. These are all the situations. Everything stops right over here. These are the only 2, okay, that are different from all the rest. Because if you put the equation of blackjack, we stand on 17 in each one. When you stand on 17, what's missing for blackjack is right over here. And this is where we become having the polar world. Not when you have 4, 3, 2. 4, 3, 2 is not the polar world. 1, 2, 3, 4 crowns. It crowns the other side of this cube. 10. 10, 4, right? 10, 4. I mean, I'm a little bit all over. I'm gonna. I know I'm losing people. I'm sort of getting a little lost myself. What is 10 for? It's communication. It's DNA. It's the IT system in the sun. It pays 2 to 1 at the crap table, or it pays 9 to 5 unless you want to buy it with a chip, explaining the one chip spirit to buy it to get the 2 to 1 odds instead of getting the 9 to 5 odds, right? EIEIO 5959. So that'll get you 31. Remember, man, 6 and 4 Zion, 0 Israel, and what gets you 13. Now I have to find a word for 13. I'm not sure which word to use, so for now I'm not going to do that. I hope you understood this. This is going to go 8912. 8912. What does that mean? It means 1 and 7 is 8, 1 and 8 is 9, 1 and 9 is 1, 2 plus 0 is 2. So we end up with 1289. And the funny thing about that is when you look at 1289, you have 1, 2, 8, 9. So you're going to go 1, 2 through the 5 into 8 and 9. Now, what about 365 days a year, right? So you're going to take the 336 over to 5 and 47. There's 365 days, 0.47. Well, you can say, well, there's 365.25, right? Well, the 22 is for ape and it's for our creation. It's lost in time. So if I lose 22 on this side, right, will I be able to take the 22 off the 1289 on the other side? What would that look like? 1267. So that's just a questionable reality that has to be discussed. So the end of the numbers ends up over here, 2020 reverse. So this becomes 6 and 5, 5 and 5, 4 and 5 into the sun. We know that these two has a separation because 3 and 4 is here. So this will be 4 and 5, and this is 3 and 5. Electric company. 4 and 5, I'm just trying to think the IT system in electric company. So maybe this one is rotating this one. You know what I'm saying? How you turn the blade. I'm getting tired. I'm not really sure if I can keep up with myself. Okay, let me look at the rest of the questions. I'll see if I can back myself up and explain how phi and pi come together with the understanding of those dots we were looking at. Let me see if I got those dots. Did I get those dots? Yeah. This is purple, and it gets Earth, and it's DC, and this one over here, because pi, okay, 4 times 4. Here's 4 areas, right? 4 times 4 equals to 16. 1 plus 6 equals to 7. The letter P is the 16th letter. Here's a total of 16. The letter H is 8. The letter I is 9. 16 and 9. Earth, pi. Birth at the gate. So let me read this. I'm getting a little tired. It's a little late. Wow, it's 2:46 in the morning. Oh boy, and I haven't caught up. So let me see this. So 84 years, 1860 equals American Civil War. Also, 1860 can also look like a 9 in there, which makes perfect sense. When you add up 8 and 9 is 1718. 1 and 9 is 10 plus 4 and 4. Like, I'm not sure if you can see this mouse on the screen. This equals to 18. This equals to 15. 6 and 8 is 14 is 15. And 18, 33 rotation. If you look at this one over here, 1776. You know what's ironic about that? That the year 5776, right, which is 2016, is 76 times 76. And it's just ironic that 1776, let me see this. Orphan roulette. So when you want to talk about Morpheus or orphans and stuff, I mean, they say it right in the word. Here's, let me see if I can just get this camera here. This is orphan roulette, right? When you come over here and look at the board, right? Let me see if I can show it to you. I don't know if let me get a little bit more light. Let me see if I got a little bit more light. Right. When you add up 20 and 14 is 34 and 31. Did I get that right? Oh, sorry. 1 and 20 is 21 and 14 is 35, 66, 75. When you turn it around, right? 17 and 34 is 51 and 6 is 57. It says 57, 75. And it's found right over here on the roulette board. 17. Let me see if I can make that bigger. 17, 34, and 6. 1, 20, 14, 31, and 9. Notice there's 3 numbers here. There's 5 numbers over here. One area bigger than the other, 3 and 5. So we have that for orphan roulette because everything has to tell the story of its truth. So that's where you. Oh yes, did I show that to you or did we? Let me see if we didn't miss that. Okay, hold on a second. Just 1 second. For some reason it disappeared on me. Okay, so what it is when I look at that, I think it's ironic. It could be just a coincidence, but it says 1776 over here. This one I really don't see. I see 1, 2, 5, 4, 9, 8, 7, 6, 21, adding up to a single digit. I don't want to get too much into that. I don't really have much of a story. I don't want to start, looking for something in it. So 2028, this September, we end up with a direct split. At the end of 2023, we're actually going into the split. We're in the division. In 2024, we're in the division. And for creation of most things, it starts in the 3rd year, I presume. Why I say this also is the actuality to the alphabet. When you add up the alphabet to the 24th letter, or 1 through 24, equals to 300. Ironic for bowling. Also 30 for creation. There are 4 months of 30 days, right? And it ends prior to 2 to 3 years prior, which is 2030, and 2030 is a representation of what is 70, 80, 90. I'm just saying a lot of stuff really, really quick. So this October, the Hebrew Rosh Hashanah, we go into the year what is 5784. The reality of that is we are in the year 5784, and 5785. We are ending 5784 when you have your first birthday. You are 1 year old. You are not becoming 1 year old. It is over. So this September, the Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, we are going to be ending 2024 and going into 2025. Add them up, it is 45. 4 times 5, 20. 4 plus 5, 9. It says the IT system. We're into the IT system. Now 4 by 5 is 20. T and I, and then it repeats itself. Oh, and it's actually KIT. 4 times 5 equals to 20T. 4 plus 5 equals to 09I. 9 and 2 is 11K. So now you have tick. Or you can also have bit. 1 and 1 is 2. You can have 292. Into a birth rotation, we are right in the center, number 9. I still want to understand what that is, but when I understand it, I can also look at it as this way. Why? Because the invert to 9 is 2. Should I invert this also? Which way should I invert the 2? Well, it becomes 66, and 66 is connecting the moon. So if I left them the same, I'd be at Q17, 17, 34. And that's telling me about the gate. They're at the gate. Now you have to move halfway in and to the gate, and now you're at the passage. What does that mean? 3.5 is the passage. 13.5 is the passage. You fall into the center of this cube. Now, if the cube was noted to be 21 dots, right, at 10.5, 105, or the hand of God, you'd be in the center. Now, it was noted, and you use every single dot on this cube, every single area space on this cube, you're going to have 54. So the center of 54 is 27.5, 275. 27 in the house of Bait, 57 the moon, electric company, 52 earth. Time comes together in that. I'm just trying to think what else comes together in that. I'm getting tired. And also the funny thing about this is the 1 and the 6 on the outside can be inverted to 9, and 1 is AI. 77 can be known as Christ. 71 is the gateway. 76 is 13 for man. 7 and 6 is also Mars and is also the matrix. 7 and 6, 13. 8 and 5, 13. 9 and 4, 13. So Mars comes in with birth at 9 and 4, 13. To where if you remove that 10, it becomes 84. So now we're into Pluto. Our birth through Pluto. There's always the levels up with 10. Now, what is 10? If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2 plus 0 is 2. Start with 2, end with 2. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Start with 4, end with 4. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Start with 5, end with 5. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. Start with 7, end with 7. 8, 16, 24, 32, 32. We heard that one before, right? So there's connections, right? Just like wiring. 40, 48. 48 comes in at number 8, right? 56, 64, 72, 80. So you noticed I used 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. I did not use 3, 6, or 9 because it's 3, 6, 9, 12. 1 and 2 is 3. There's only 4 numbers. Remember the 4 and the 6 that we talked about before? That's what we're talking about. 10 numbers and 4 numbers. 3, 6, 9, 12. 1 and 2 is 3. It took 4 numbers to do it, while it took all the other ones 10. 6, 12, 18, 24. 2 and 4 is 6. We did that. Another one. We only use 4, 6 and 4. But number 9, 9 and 9 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. And now there's other mathematical equations that come with this. 2028. Well, something big will happen. 2028. We did this. We did the Civil War. We did. Amy, hold on. I'm going down the line. 43, 1948. Right. Everything for me, everything is levels of 3, and it's a little bit like a machine. See what happens, right? What happens to this paper? I'm going to just give me a second. Take this piece of paper. Let me just make it easier for myself. So what we're going to do with this piece of paper, it's like this, right? And everything works in 3s and 4s. I think there's a little too much light here and too much light here. Whoop. Everything works in 3s and 4s. So as this happens, right? As this happens, you can see 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? But as it happens, 1 disappears and the next 3 show up. So it's always rotating. You'll never get to see more than either 2 or 3 at the same time. And where I try to look where I can get this from, what game can I get it? Well, in the game of, thanks, Tammy, in the game of hold on a second. What game is it? Yes, in the game of roulette, the betting in the game of roulette is going to be 1 chip
over here will get you 4 areas, and it'll be 8 to 1 if I remember. Look at that, 8 and 1 come together, 4 areas. And it's a window it creates, so it's Mars, 1 and 8. Otherwise, you can put a chip over here and get these 3 areas, and that'll give you 11 to 1. So now you got that. That'll give you 11 to 1, equaling to your 12, 1, 1, 1. Then what you get is you put the chip between these 2 areas over here, and that's 17 to 1. So 17 to 1 Q is in those 2 areas over there. And that's 1 and 7, 8. And that's 8. And then if you put a chip right in the center over here, that's 35 to 1. 3 and 5, 8. 1 and 7, 8. And this one is 8. 8, 8, 8. Those 3 realities.
Okay, I'm going to read the rest of the comments, and then we're going to end it. 3, 8, yes. Draw the New Jerusalem. I could not do that. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what it is, so I could never draw it. And Jerusalem, if you say the word without seeing the word, it says in the road I sail. The word roue is also known as the wheel, so it's also the wheel that sails. And when you say je l'aime, it means to like or to love. It ends with Mars or Mercury, matter and energy, em coming together. I'm not going to say lemon. Lemon is yellow. Sail to Salem. Male comes at the end, male, from Jerus. JE also means I. Yeah, the little kitty is I don't know if you can hold on a second. Where'd she go? You can't see her, right? Hold on a second. She's up here sleeping. There's a little box next to me. Let me see where else we are. Right. Those little things that came back, those bit things. I need to learn more about the planets, more about sizes. I just need to listen, and then I can reflect. I have to hear people speaking so I can reflect on what's going on around me. Besides, I did not finish tonight. We're ending this video. I did not complete all the realities and what goes on in the game of craps with this, what goes on in every single sport with numbers, and then we relate it all to words. Let me see. What's this? Yeah, in astrology also, you see inside the word astro, you don't have to use LOGY. The endings and the beginnings of words, I have to also understand them a little bit more. ING is noted to be an add-on. So if I say the word king, am I adding on the ING to the K, and the K is a letter all alone itself? Or how about thing, where ING come together, and all the words where ING come together. This year ending, yes, this year was a split year. It happened last year, really. In reality, for me, pending if they count the year 01, 23 and 24 are just like C and D. Now, should I be using my split in a different way, even though my dice cube is already telling me? My question is, if I use the split with, let me take the letter M. See, the letter M is number 4. The L is number 3. And guess what? The M is for male, the L, the male 13, and the female 12. So again, it shows me that split. It also tells me about the king and the queen being the 12th and the 13th card. It also tells me that when it's number 12, it's 1 times 2, 1 plus 2, the rem, 3 and 2 equals to 5. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3, the king, okay, which has 7 eyes, equals to 3 and 4, 7, runner of the moon. Let me see this. That was the last comment. Web Surfer, thank you very much for being here. Tammy, thank you much for being here. I need to, I want to, I need to, I find it's a must that I can put all this information into a program, so we can let the program tell an expanded story that everybody can look at it and see. Hockey, baseball, soccer, football, darts, bowling, cards, dice, all the casino games. Did we do soccer? A pair of socks, the number of fingers, why we're buried or noted to be buried 6 feet down, even though it's below the frost line. Apparently, the frost line, is that frost line or the freezing point in Celsius, I think it is minus, 18, which is 0. When you're buried, they say you're buried 6 feet down. What does that tell you? If it's 6 feet, I'm only one person, I only got 2 feet. That means when I'm buried, you bury 3. So that means I got 10, 30 fingers and 30 toes. I got 60 digits. I am the 9th birth, 60 digits and 9. Now, if you want to go to the 10 commandments, just going to go over this real quick. 7 and 3, 10, 9 and 1, 10, 4 and 6, 10, 8 and 2, 10, 9 and 4, 13, 7 and 6, 13, 3 and 4, 7, 1 and 6, 7, 5 and 2, 7, 8 and 5, 13. This thing is telling a story within itself. 9, 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, 4 and 5, 4.5, 4.5. 8, 1 and 7, 2 and 6, 3 and 5, 4 and 4. I don't need the 0.5. 7, 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 3 and 4. 3.5. The E world. 1, 5, 2, 4, 3, 3. The 6 and 8 come together, created by 2 and 4. The invert of the cube. The 5. 3 and 2, 1 and 4. There's only 2 of them. The 4. 2 and 2, 1 and 3. So ape and man come together. When that comes together, the 4 is now what is a combination of 1 and 9, 10. There are no 10s. When you get the 4, you're 1 and 9, 10. You ignite what is the 10. When you come to number 3, it is 1 and 2, 3. When you ignite that, you create the student 11. Why? Because when you take out a pair of dice, remember, we came out to paradise, and when you die, you only get 1 dice, 1 cube. Paradise, 2 dice. 108 area spaces between the 2. Also, when you get that, what happens? When you get your 1 and 2, creating your 3, you're only 3. You're now creating the 5 and 6, 11. So now we have to go to all the realities of how we created 5 and 6 and all our combinations. And it's not only that, okay? It's that every single number is a word and every single word is a number. And what's ironic is that this, okay, equals to 52, 5 and 2, 7. And the opposite of that is the 1, number 34, 3 and 4, 7, which creates what is the 5 and 2, equaling to what is 6, to where number 1 equals to 34, and the division of the house of DC through number 1. The spirit at the gates. What is smoking? Tamiel. Anyways, my other name, I was born under the after my great grandmother. No, that was my grandmother. Her name was Rachel, and my name is Raphael. I like to say that there's a video of mine. I think it's called Schäufer, or the chauffeur of the ram's horn. In the new year, every single year for the last 40 odd years, I blow the ram's horn. So just mention it like that. I'm not sure if you can see any of my pictures. You know, the pineal gland over here, right, connecting the two sides up. Also to note that in every single letter there's artwork, and how you create each letter. What happens over here? That's not the one I want to. No, it's not. That's not the one I want to show. Um, over here is the connection between 3, 6, and 9 and the different artwork. This one over here in blue, when you connect 147 with 369, it looks like it's tilted to the left. See how short this is, how stretched out this is. When you tilt it this way to the right, it's 369 with 2, 5, and 8. And when you put it together, all together, it becomes this. As well, you can remove 3, 6, and 9, this red triangle, and take a look at what it is. Putting all the circles together. Now inside of here, do you see this image over here? I'll try to get it done in the next video, what's going on in all these connections. Just very tired. This is inside what is gematria. It's like two heads were put together, bringing on an altered life and possibility for moons. I don't know. I saw this, I think I had this revelation in a dream while I was designing. I'm just trying to see. Yes, here they are, that one over here and one over here. And this is where I went 1, 2. What do I do over here? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I think I mirrored this. I think I overlapped number 1. Right? Yeah, I overlap number 1. I don't go to number 1. It overlaps, and you completely lose number 1. So that's another equation. Just trying to see where else there is. This is just connecting 9 with 1 equaling to 10. These are all equaling to 10. This one's all equaling to 7, showing me that when you're equaling to 7, you cannot have a fine line between. Is there a fine line over here? This is in the E. Let me see what this does. This is the E over here. I'm just trying to see if I did this right, if I can see a difference between, first of all, just to tell you something, that 10 and 7 is 5 times 2, 5 plus 2 equals 10 and 7. Also, that 5 times 2, 5 plus 2, the earth number, also that the 5 and 2 recreate each other. Like 5 times any number, or half of any number, right, is doubled back up with 2. 2 and 5 reflect each other. 5 times 2, 10, J. 5 plus 2, 7. So it becomes J with 1, 7 with 7. It becomes another Q gate. 5 and 2 are created within the bricks, which is going to represent high, the word high, and which is going to bring together 17 and 27, or 71 and 72, the house of bait at the gate, with the spirit, because 1 and 7 bringing the spirit in the gate. And that has to be discussed also. Not concrete, and it's not the last element, because there's more words that go along. Yeah, so that's what number 5 and 2 do. Where is there anything else here? Oh, yes, and in the French language, it's funny that in the 7th inning, it's a 7th inning stretch, and the 10th inning is extra innings. When a baseball game ends at 51 outs, the home team is won. If 52 outs, the home team wins. 53 outs, the home team wins. But at 54 outs, the home team loses, because that means we have outs for both teams. They played the 9th inning. Let me see if this is it. 1, 2, 3, 7. Here's your 9, 11, 13. This is also not a final design. I have to understand, because what happens is between M and N, which is over here, I don't know if I should touch them or I should overlap the M and N, because they're both number 1s in gematria, or keep them separate. Here's 7, 9, 2, 4. 1 and 1 is 2. Okay, we're going to stop here. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this video. Much appreciated. Anybody wants to help out the channel, much appreciated also. Even if you pass this on, just keep passing it on. If you believe in what I'm doing, just share it, because the greatest gift is sharing, and everything seems to work itself out after that, because you can't get away from having knowledge, and especially when the knowledge ends up to be truth. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching this video. Oh, and it'd be great if you upload these videos. There's many people that can upload everything. They've removed some of my videos, so I download everything, and I just like to, just say it that way. Mirror, camera, picture. Tired.